Hello guys, let's start to make use of our scanner, which we made in a previous video, to actually move our game object towards the target which he has scanned. We can use this, and we will do this for this video, for an enemy NPC which looks for a target and then moves towards the target. Yeah? Okay, let's first just get rid of the scanner and the cube we made previously. And let's create a new C# script in our shared folder, and let's call this Pathfinder. Now we are not making a pathfinding system like A* or anything. We're just going to use the NavMesh agent because that works very well for what we are trying to do. Okay, so with the Pathfinder class open, we first tell the Pathfinder class that we require a type of the NavMesh agent. And let's make a public NavMesh agent reference to the agent, but we're gonna hide it in the inspector. Okay, we don't want to assign it to the through the editor. Okay, in our start method, we get a reference to the agent. NavMesh agent. There we go. Yeah. Okay, and now we're going to make a public method, void, to set a target to our NavMesh agent, which takes a vector 3 target position, and maybe just target, by the way. And then we say here in our set target, we say agent set destination, target. So it sets a destination to the target which it has received. Now we want to also know if we reach our destination. So let's make in the update method, in the update, we say we need a variable for it, which is a bool destination reached. And then we say if destination reached, we return, and otherwise we say if agent remaining distance, if this is less than a variable, let's make it a serializable field for our float. Let's call it maybe float distance. Distance remaining threshold. So if our remaining distance is less than our remaining distance threshold, we say destination reached equals to true. And then we go for our then we know that the destination is reached, but we need to raise an event when this value changes to false. So instead of making it boolean like this, let's make a bool m destination reached, and then in this bool we say get and return the m destination reached. And when we set the value, we check if the if m destination reached, if this is true, we're gonna raise an event. Now let's create the event, public event system action with no any return types on destination reached. So if the destination is reached, let's check if it's assigned, and then invoke the method. Okay, I think this should work. Now we also need something to assign this pathfinding class to, and also our scanner. So let's make a new script in our. Let's first make a new folder in our script folder. Let's call this NPC, and create a new script. And let's call this enemy player. Let's open it up. And what we're going to do, we're going to say that it requires both the Pathfinder and the scanner. So require component type of Pathfinder, and it will also require the component of type scanner. Now, when we add the script to our to a game object, it will automatically add the Pathfinder and the scanner. So let's see what happens if we create an empty game object. Let's call this enemy player. Let's reset it, move it backward a little bit, and then drag in the enemy player script. I didn't save it, I think. No, it didn't save. So now let's do it again. Come on. I dragged it out, back to NPC. There we go. So now it will add the sphere collider for the scanner and our NavMesh agent for our pathfinding script. Yeah. So let's increase the radius to maybe 25. So fairly big. Maybe it's, but maybe let's reduce it a little bit for this video. Let's increase the scan speed to 1 second, 90 degrees, and don't forget to change the mask for everything, and then uncheck player. Okay, now we will fiddle around with the properties for the NavMesh agent later on, and in our NavMesh pathfinding script we say the remaining distance threshold should be, I mean, if we want to stop it 10 meters before, we're gonna put it here at 10, but let's put it at 2 meters. For now this is okay. You can also do like 0.1, so it will be almost on top. I'm gonna do 0.5. Okay, and our enemy player doesn't have anything. Now let's reload and go to our enemy player class, and let's get a reference to the Pathfinder and the scanner. So let's make a Pathfinder and a scanner. And what we also want to do is we're going to animate our player, our model, to the animator. So we're going to assign this one from the inspector. Yeah. So in our void start, let's get a reference to the Pathfinder and assign these values. Get component Pathfinder, and for our scanner, get component scanner. All right. Now, when we reach our target for our when we select a target with our scanner, we want to know it in our enemy player. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make an event here when there's a target selected. So let's make a public event on public event system action. Doesn't take anything, I guess. Yeah, maybe it takes the factor 3 of the position of the target. Let's call on selected on target selected, and we're going to do it the same way as we did for the Pathfinder. So let's keep the player selected here. Let's change the variable. Shift Alt F10 to rename it, and then we say player. I said refactor it, but don't refactor it. Let's keep it like this. Then we're gonna change it, but don't change the variable. We make a new selected target variable. Get will return the selected target, and our set will first set it, and then we will raise the on target selected if it's set. Invoke the method. Now one more thing, if the we're gonna of course provide the transforms position. If this is set to a null value, we probably we will get an error here. So when we if mSelected target equals to null, we're just gonna return here. We don't want to invoke this method then. Yeah. So in our enemy player, we can now use the method from our scanner on target selected. Let's add it, which takes in position, and then we say Pathfinder, Pathfinder, lowercase, set target position. Yeah. So then it will, when the target is selected, will set a target to the Pathfinder, and the Pathfinder will then set the destination to our NavMesh agent, and then it will move towards the target. So let's see if it actually works. Before we can do it, we need to make sure that the floor we are working on, which can be used for our NavMesh agent to find the path. So select the plane and mark it static if it isn't already. So mark it static, otherwise you cannot make a NavMesh. You cannot bake the navigation here. So go to Window, Navigation, and then hit Bake. Then everything will turn blue. This is where the NavMesh agent will be able to find its path. Yeah. Okay. With that said, again, if it doesn't turn blue, make sure you have enabled static on the plane. Okay. Let's see what happens now. If we hit play. There we go. We can see it moving to our player. After it will set a position. There you go. It will turn towards it and move towards it. Okay. Now we don't see anything, so let's make a new game. Maybe not a new game object, but just add the model to it. Let's also use the SWAT model. And then we're gonna assign the animator from our SWAT model. Make sure you set the controller to the same one we have used before on our own player. And now in our enemy player, in the update method, in our update method, should be okay. We say animator set float, and we assign the vertical input parameter with the Pathfinder agent velocity on the z-axis. Yeah. Now this will be higher than -1 to 1, but it doesn't really matter for now. So if we hit play, there we go. It will walk. It's still slippery a little bit, and then it will stop. Yeah. Let's see how fast we need to walk. By the way, I have disabled my canvas, so otherwise it will clutter up my scene space as well. Okay, so let's check how fast we are running. It should be 5. So increase the enemy player NavMesh agent speed to 5 as well. Hit play. Yeah, I think this works. Let's move it a little bit more back and increase the radius of our, like so. Go to enemy player. Again, if I start to work, move my player, it will not change its position. I'm aware of it. There you go. Now one more thing I am seeing is when it starts to run, it will first like move his feet really fast. There we go. We will fix this later on by because that's probably because we are that's probably because the velocity is much higher than 1. It will go to a higher value before, but we want it to be a max, so we want to normalize it actually. What happens if we divide this? I have no idea. Nothing happened, so okay. We're gonna keep it like this. We will change this in a later video. Okay, one more thing. Let's make some objects so it will go around the objects. So if we create a new cube and we move it here, let's first reset it, move it here and scale it on the x-axis, on the scale it. And now if you make this static 2 and you go to your navigation window again, it will still move through it. Now if you bake it, it will make a gap between the cube, or for the cube, and the space here is based on the space of your agent size. So if we change our agent to like a smaller radius and you bake it again, it will go smaller. Now it will tell us that it's possible to walk here, although it won't be able to reach it. Okay, let's keep it like this. Now I'm not really sure if it will detect us or it will block. There it goes. And now you can see it will walk around the object. Okay, let's make a new one by duplicating this one, and let's whoops, maybe like this. Now if we hit bake again, you can see it won't go here. And now it will go the other way around because that is faster than this way around. Yeah. Now probably if we do it like this, could be either way, and it will go for this way, go between it. Yeah. Okay. Now what you could see when it was turning right here, it was a little bit slow. So what we can do to increase our angular speed, let's make this 200 so it will turn faster. Yeah. There we go. Maybe not enough. Maybe 300. How much do I actually need? I'm not really sure. Let's make it 600, a very high number. At least I thought this was the way to control it. Doesn't look like it. No. Let's go switch it back. I don't see it where we can change the way speed. Maybe this one, the acceleration, but I don't think so. Oh well, yeah, that looked better. Okay, so that pretty much does what we want. Now let's disable it for now, because one more thing that comes up right now, if we are now moving through these cubes, it will just pass through it because the way we are moving. So if I'm moving forward right now, it will just go through it. Yeah. So what we want to do, we want to change the way we move our character. Okay, to do it, we're going to use the character controller because it's really easy to use and perfectly for our needs. So let's remove the. Now we first need to go to the player, and let's change the required component of our move controller. Let's change this to our character controller. Yeah. Now let's remove the move controller and the capsule collider and also the rigid body, as we don't need them anymore. And let's add a character controller to our script. Yeah. Let's take a look at the values here. Let's raise the center to 1. Maybe reduce the radius a little bit. And the height should be a little bit less. Maybe 0.9. Something like this, yeah. Okay, now we probably need to change some values for controlling it. Now if I'm, yeah, we're getting a null reference exception right away. That's because we have removed the move controller. So if we change the move controller property and just change the class to a character controller, it will still use the move because the character controller has a move method. Now if we hit play right now, we probably get some weird results too. There we go. First of all, it's way too fast, and the other thing is it's inverted the way, so forward goes to the left. So let's change this, the input to the vertical, and this one horizontally. And without changing the speed, because I like these settings here, 5218, we're gonna simply lower it here by multiplying it by like 0.02 or something like that. Let's see what happens. There we go. 0.2 seems to be spot on. And now you can see it works against the, it will block. It will go up, so we still need to move it down to the ground. Seems like we are flying, as you can see here. And we will change that later on. But for now, we're gonna, let's raise it a little bit so we cannot go on top of it. Yeah, and I also saw that our player was floating a little bit. See, it's like a few centimeters off the ground. So let's raise the center a little bit. There we go. Yeah. So now we are not. So now we are colliding with the obstacles here. Okay. Well, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. See you and bye bye.